On today's Minute of the Apes, we can't find anything funny to say here at the beginning.
They greenlit the sequel without a story in mind. They just wanted to equal an unexpected gold mine. He said, oh no, as Heston said, I got to go. These are just some of the facts you ought to know as we go. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes.
The only good human is a dead human.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, a daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies. It's Friday. We're all in good moods because Richard's getting sales numbers over there. They're
Making
just through
money.
the roof. He's happy.
dollar bills, y'all.
We just had a big sale at the store, and I'm super happy.
Anytime Richard's happy, we know it's going to be a fun minute. So let's kick things off. Sean, tell us what's going on with Minute 80.
All right, we're going to start Minute 80 with Taylor and Brent looking at the prison bars and ends with Taylor choking the life out of Brent.
This may be one of those minutes where you get a lot of things without a lot of dialogue. So just be ready. Here it comes.
Mr. Taylor, Mr. Brent, we're a peaceful people. We don't kill our enemies. We get our enemies to kill each other.
I'm fighting.
All right, as of Minute 80, we have 3 living humans, a psychor of telepaths, 4 dead humans, 1 dead ape, a shootness of apes, and a gaggle of humans.
So I know that Angelo says, we're peaceful people, we don't kill our enemies, we get our enemies to kill each other. But for the listening audience, it just sounded like Brent and Taylor had sex.
Well, first off, for the listening audience, they're all applauding right now as they drive to work while they're listening because you got Angelo right without having to stumble through.
On your road again.
All right, so we start fighting in this, and I'm going to toss out right away that I don't know why they fight. It makes no sense why Andro, to me, has them fight. But I want
each other, yeah.
I want to say right off the top that I do think there is some good acting by Heston because he kind of backs away wearily, and it's almost like I'm waiting for him to go, no, not again, please don't. As though they've already mind him 1,000 times because he backs away like, I don't want this to happen.
Okay, so, that kind of answers my question because Andro says, Mr. Brent, we're peaceful people. We don't kill our enemies. We get our enemies to kill each other, which is tipping off of, or which is kind of leading off of what Brendan said. They were trying to make me kill her. So it makes sense on some level why Nova is now not here at this moment. They were trying to separate them to get these two to kill each other.
Or the story conveniently needs us to see, once again, the power of the telepath that they can make people of their own kind fight against each other, which implies that when the apes come, that what they're going to do is make them fight and kill each other.
Yeah.
This minute serves no purpose other than to reiterate, which we already know that they can do, which is to turn people and make them do things. We saw Brent try to kill Nova. We don't need to see, once again, him turning and make somebody fight somebody that they have no reason to fight.
I thought it was a good minute. I thought it was this idea that we did not know how to get rid of Heston, Taylor. We did know how to get rid of him. Now we have an option to actually get rid of Taylor. And we're going to do that by bringing Brent into making battle. Now, what you made me remind me of is that, yes, Taylor now seems kind of hesitant based upon Andro looking at him like something negative is going to happen. But Taylor was never in a situation where he could be manipulated to kill somebody yet because there's not been anybody else around. So that's why, to me, he also seemed surprised that they were going to start battling. Like, he didn't quite, at first, it made sense to me that he would be scared of what Andro's about to do because Andro delivers pain, but he would not know the full extent of making them kill each other because he has not been in a situation where somebody else was there for them to inflict that kind of action on.
These telepaths like to split hairs when we're talking about we're peaceful, we just make our enemies kill each other. That's like me saying, I'm putting on a puppet glove, and now I'm punching you, but I'm not punching you. The puppet's punching you. I'm
totally
still
agree.
making you fight, so you're not peaceful.
I don't know how to get into this. I see what you're saying, Richard. But I think that there has to be an insertion of a line that says, you're both a problem for us. If you stay here, this causes this problem. We need you to both disappear. And then they make them fight. That character, it can't, something like that where they need them to kill Taylor or they need that. It can't, to me, just be implied. Actually, it could be implied if you've done a better job of laying the groundwork for it. And this film's not done a good job of these things. I think at that point, there needs to be something where Andro either is defying the wishes of the council. You know, my superiors don't agree with this, but I believe you're a problem for us.
Yeah.
And then it needs to be, then it's like that.
So I'll pull back just a little bit because I'm now thinking a little further ahead. They talk about them being helpless, and yet they're about to make two people fight each other. They could make the apes fight each other, right?
Right.
Possibly.
They
said their
maybe
thicks
not.
are- they said
Their
they're-
brains are too underdeveloped to maintain the illusions. Or
Okay,
whatever.
but Brent's underdeveloped, and they are now going to control him to where he can fight.
I did
Hey,
like.
don't
that
ask me for logic.
Well,
I didn't
God
make
damn
this
it,
movie.
Sean.
I did like that as after Andre says the line and Brent or Taylor has that horrified look, both Taylor and Brent kind of back away to the back of the cell. And then we get an actual smile from Andre as he looks and like, ha 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 ha. He looks like he's about to inflict the pain and he
Twirl that
smiles
mustache.
about it. And it wasn't a big smile, but just enough to kind of like make me go, oh.
It's like a smize.
But
Yeah.
so, and this comes into why I say that it's a wasted moment, that it's unnecessary. Should he not be going to his private dwelling and preparing for the invasion? Yet he's stopping down to play Rock'em Sock'em Robots with the humans. And it's just, what is going on? Why is this even necessary?
I'm totally fine with it. It was really hot. They fought each other.
you get a
We
lot
got
of-
little side cheek here and there so often from Brent. I'm all for it.
You get Brent struggling not to put up his dukes as hard as he can.
Well, okay, we at least
tighten those muscles.
and at 50 seconds in, we did get this really cool overhead shot that was very, very cool. We see a lot of things, and then, you know, in the next minute, we're going to get some cool shots of Taylor. It was like some feisty directing in this, and it's well directed. It's unnecessary.
I'm surprised there's no music in the fight scene.
There was
I
no
do
music.
too.
There was no
Yeah.
music in the fight scene. It does resume at a moment a little bit. I think in the next minute. We talked about it in the last minute, but it was just what did we do this minute? It doesn't matter. It was just very, very odd for Taylor's shirt to kind of be open because he was not as fit as Franciscus, and so it was just kind of this weird battle of like, Dad, zip your
Suck your
shirt
gut
up. It was. I was like,
Where are your Spanx, Dad?
well, and I guess he's wearing those robes, so maybe he saw the ceremony as well.
I don't know.
Like he's got the outfit on as if he's. Now I get it.
Did he have a love-in with the mutants?
No time for love.
But at
No time
36
for love.
seconds, there's a point where Brent starts looking like he's enjoying it. Like he gets this smile on his face, like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill you."
I did have a note. Well, once Brent took a swing at Taylor, it looks like he quit fighting the influence and
I just
went
started
with
going
it.
for it. Yeah. So Brent takes a swing at Taylor, and then there's a second where I really thought Brent was going to get on Taylor because Taylor takes his swing and Brent grabs his arm and sweeps it in front of him to kind of flip him upside down. It was like, dang, Brent's got some moves.
I thought it'd be funny if Taylor actually killed Brent right now, and then the rest of the movie just Taylor, and they never talk about Brent again.
It would probably actually follow the logic of this film where we go off on tangents that don't necessarily have merit for being followed.
There was an odd shot where they're fighting and Andro has his eyes kind of in his I Dream of Jeannie blink, and like a guard just kind of pops up behind him. For
I
a
noticed
second.
that too.
And I was like, why did that guard just suddenly step into frame? Like it didn't make any sense. Like it was like, okay, cool. So then we get into that cool kind of choke moment where you've got two people fighting and it's kind of devolved to the point where you can't swing because you're too close to each other. And Brent has his hands around Taylor's throat, and Heston has his hand up on Brent's face like he's trying to like stick his fingers up his nose, like he's trying to push him away. I don't know. It was just really kind of a cool, like we can't have each other choke each other. So I'll have one of you choke and the other one just kind of mash their face, trying to pull each other off.
But to that point, shouldn't the characters have been saying, shouldn't Brent have been the one? You've got to resist. Don't you see what
I don't
they're
want to
doing
do
me?
this. They're
Yeah,
making me
shouldn't
do
they
this.
have been saying something? God almighty, you have them fighting, and I realize the sweaty gladiator moment that's occurring, and they're fighting, and it's awesome. But the truth of the moment is not the fight. The truth of the moment is the control by the Psychor dude over here. Mm-hmm. They've got to say something, God damn it. They don't do shit.
Oh, and then we go to that awesome shot overhead. And what happens? They
Yeah, I
come
love
out of the
that shot.
chokehold. Taylor basically takes his leg, sweeps it under Brent's right leg, causing Brent to fall to
Sweep
the
the
floor.
leg.
Sweep the leg, and then Brent just kind of falls down, and then then he kicks him, and he
Right
kicks
into
him
the
right
gate.
into the grated
spikes.
iron, the spikes. Oh, brutal!
So we
Takedown.
get Brent stabbed in the back, but did anybody feel like, okay, he got stabbed in the back, but they're setting that up for a larger purpose?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's just, it obviously pays off in a little bit, but it's almost to remind us of how lethal these barbs are. Because he gets stabbed and he kind of goes, oh, and then he's fine.
He gets stabbed by the bar, but then there's this moment where Taylor now has his hands on Brent's throat. It kind of ends in this moment where he's choking him up against the bars, and I honestly could not tell from the placement whether the spike was on the back of his head or
I wish it had been.
or the spike had been in his back.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pressed against those bars pretty hard, and that had to hurt. I legit thought that Brent was going to die. I thought this was Brent's death moment. Granted, watching 1 minute at a time, pretending I don't know what goes on after this, I was like, this is so tense. I'm not sure this character is going to make it after this moment.
I kind of wish that Mythbusters would get a hold of this because I want to know if you get thrown against a barb like that, would it really penetrate the skin? But, there has to be a certain level of sharpness that it would hurt. And, I mean, you would get really poked hard, but would it penetrate deeply enough to do what it did?
I think it would.
I'm just curious.
All right.
I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
What?
You didn't know that?
You're not science man?
Damn it. I've been fooling you all this time.
It is a fight between two friends in the grip of a power willing them not merely to hurt but to murder each other, with no lethal holds barred and no dirty killer's tricks such as eye gouging left untried. The nose is prodigious. Occasionally we intercut or interlude Andro's eyes screwed concentratedly shut, still standing in the open doorway as the fight peaks.
Okay.
Hey, let's get some more.
I
fight.
liked it.
I like the fight, but it feels like a fight for no reason. If they had been resisting, if they'd been saying, don't do this, if he had said something like, you two are a problem for us, we must get rid of you, or if Andro somehow felt that the council had not done what they needed to, I would buy the fight, but there is no reason. Just all of a sudden, Andro goes, boop, and they start fighting. And you know why they do? Because the film had been boring up to that point, and they need something to go, ba-dum.
I thought this was nicely shot. There's actually a really cool,
I don't disagree with you.
There's actually a really cool scene, like at the very, very end of this minute, where Taylor's choking Brent, and so they reverse the camera to Brent's point of view, and all you see is like Taylor like his hands, like it's choking the camera. Ah, so awesome.
I think there are probably points of Deuce Bigelow that are nicely shot too, but it doesn't mean I say it's a good movie. I agree
I'm not
with you.
doing the Deuce Bigelow minute.
I thought
We're going to bring on the Deuce Bigelow Minute podcast people to
Just because I said
to
it?
defend their movie.
I do think it's well shot. I love that overhead shot and those very shots where you're talking about where the POV is the camera. Fantastic. And there's so many things that we've talked about before where this is rather lazily directed, that there's very little personality brought to it. They're here. I just wish the scene had a little bit more of a dramatic purpose than to make the two guys fight.
Yeah. Whatever.
Richard's not going to agree with me, but he gives me the friendly look of, but it's
Oh,
okay.
it's cool. It was hot.
I like it when you and I don't. I knew you. Wait, hang on. It was hot. I love you for the transparency that you admit it was hot.
Hey, Chris, can you leave the room? I gotta watch the fight scene.
Yeah, Chris, I'll give you an edited version of this so you don't have to hear that. Okay, that's minute 80. We will be back next week with 5 more minutes. We are approaching the end of this film. We can't wait to get there and break it apart and then do what we did the last time, which I'm going to go ahead and say it. We certainly on the last episode are going to let you hear the trailer for the next movie,
one,
right?
yeah.
We'll do that. We'll have some martinis again, I guess.
Sounds like a good
That
plan.
has to be a plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Beneath the minute of the apes. Beneath the minute of the apes. Beneath the minute of the apes.
The only good human is is a dead human.